The artwork is called EL, and thus when I was introduced to the topic of engineering life, I had no idea what to expect. I was invited to an artist talk at the film festival in Locarno, and there was a dinner. 3 men came to me and asked whether I was interested to be an artist they would select to talk about engineering life and the ethics of engineering life. All this was extremely obscure to me, although I was aware of the university in Basel and the laboratories that were very secretive, and the question of engineering life and ethics was even more mysterious and obscure to me. So after another meeting in Zurich that was really fascinating, I said I would love to accept to visit the laboratories in Basel, try to understand what kind of artwork I could create, combining the ethics and liaison, or the link between contemporary art and the work in the laboratory and the issue of ethics, mainly in relation to the Vatican, because the first place this installation was to be shared was in Vatican City 2 years after our meeting. So this is how this journey began. So the artwork basically is a 3-level art installation. The front level, where we look, it's like I see the images from the laboratory in front of me, and I see the Vatican and in all its glory in front of me. The ceiling is the sky, it's the vision coming from above, it's the divine intervention, it is the brain. And the ground is basically where we are coming from, it's our roots, and where we take our stand and our basic understanding. So the artwork has been much more colorful and much more interesting in every aspect that I expected, because the science and art is so closely related, and that particular artwork is an installation on 3 levels to be projected as a 3D mapping onto facades or buildings or inside the church, and basically enhance the environment. So producing the artwork had many technical challenges, that where to place what and where to cut, and also to reduce the work to 8, 10, 11 minutes, to not fall into repetition, keep it interesting and also informative at the same time. I had a father that was extremely old, and after 92, 93, certain things I felt changing, although he was physically incredibly fit. Engineering life, the way I see it, it's not like we are creating robots or we are creating an army or it's something to be afraid. No, the way we are using EL in combination with AI right now is really an incredible betterment of our lives. So the improvements are really groundbreaking. One of the ones that I also benefited greatly about is improvement of vision. And the optical nerves are extremely delicate. The eye is a miraculous organ. It's a miraculous construction to absorb color, shapes, and feed that into a brain, like we are feeding information into a computer, and then our brain processes that. And I basically used this information to create this artwork. And for myself, the great advances in the medical field, in the optometric field, has been extremely beneficial for my vision. I was practically blind for a very brief time, and after several interventions and operation, I have a vision now of over 90%. Also, I had several accidents but very basic interventions. I have new hips, shoulders, and other help that the medical field today has been really giving me 20, 30 incredible extra years. And the way I got to know the laboratories in Basel, and little I knew about AI or CERN in Geneva, which all in combination brings these incredible results. EL is probably one of the most important research centers that we have. Now, there are the ethical challenges that we need to overcome, but engineering life is a very modern, highly relevant science, and very intriguing for an artist to collaborate and actually use my own DNA as an artist with the DNA coming from the laboratories or from the Vatican or other images that I can collect. When you first enter the laboratories, it is really a world of science, and it's very much like very simple words of Einstein, who had the most incredible conversation with a young girl in Cape Town, South Africa, that basically understood his language. If I follow Einstein's quote, I think art itself, and we can go back to Leonardo da Vinci, which is a prime example of combination of art and science. When Da Vinci was painting The Last Supper, he went to the mayor of Milan and said, "Milan is a stinking city. You need to rebuild your sewer system." And as an artist, he basically created the sewer system in Milan like the most sophisticated engineer, saying, "I'm an artist, but science is something that's driving me as an artist. Also, he secretly went to pathologists and dissected bodies in the morgues at night because the religious leader did not allow him to actually draw human intestines and the first real body with all its nerves and muscles and brain. So art and science has been highly connected throughout the centuries and millenniums, and the dialogue, whether it's art and science or astrology and science, which is even more connected, is really fascinating. First of all, the personalities in the laboratories are extremely different. You have very masculine areas, and then you have some incredible women in the same departments that are breakthrough scientists, elbow to elbow, and I found that dynamic, and then me coming in the middle and them looking at me, what I was doing, as a total alien, or we were a group of 2 or 3, and we were really alien characters, each of us trying to understand what could be the outcome of such a collaboration. To work in the laboratories was really Kubrick. It was really something between Dr. Strangelove and 2001. I enjoyed these experiences to a point that I could not take my eyes away from the microscope, especially in one incident of cell reproduction, where you see the reproduction of human cells that eventually turn into a spine, upper back, and the shape of a human. That is something so magic that we are normally talking as a sacred life form. So there we coming to the border of ethics, of engineering life. Well, when we were in Vatican City for 4 or 5 days, I was invited to assist on the dialogues and talks between scientists and religious leaders. I thought I'm going to walk around Rome, visit my friends, and actually I only took 2 very short breaks and listened to pretty much every single dialogue. That's how fascinating it was. Especially one incident where 1 or 2 of the first very amazing lawyers were invited to start laying down a groundwork of the law and the ethics of engineering life, and how far are we able to go. And I just listened to a few words of Harari today about AI and the free decision-making of AI and the progress in engineering life that are going in totally parallel movements. And when you listened to the scientists and listened to the religious leader and the Pope and the cardinals, I was amazed about their openness and their willingness to collaborate in science and integrating this into the new vision of the church. And we had leaders from the Jewish faith, Buddhist faith, Muslim faith, Hindu, and it was just incredible to listen to all these conversations and then the questions to me how I envision to work on this subject. Again, I bring up my father and I bring up the end of our film. The end of our film is a marathon in Japan, and the last person to go through the finishing line was a Japanese runner aged 104. And my father turned 97, and until the end we took very, very long walks together, and he made it his priority to do his 12,000 steps or 14,000 steps until the very, very end. And I feel with the possibility we have in reading about food and about nutrition and about health and about nature, and I was just asked what I'm doing during the weekend. I said, well, I try to hug as many trees and drink from as many water fountains as I can. We have such incredible opportunities today, if we are even involving science, to extend our lifespan and our health in an incredible way. So this artwork has been one of the most exciting works so far, and again, as I said, I'm just in the beginning stages.